We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night. Welcome to another Vikings Uncensored. We're here. The team was not in Seattle last week. It didn't seem like, but we'll get into that in a minute. Good evening, everybody in the chat. Ant is there. Davey Chains is there. Drew is there. Doc is here. Cast of thousands as usual. Thank you guys again for. Well, cast of tens anyway.
Right.
But thank you guys all for joining us once again.
Robert, I see you on the page every once in a while. Nice seeing you in here.
But yeah, it's and Ruby is here.
Rubes. Right on.
We have Toonses. Yes, Toonses is the most important. Yes.
As much as I've gotten sick of watching this team, at least you guys haven't gotten sick of watching the show.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's
I continue to watch though, even though I'm sick of it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, last week that performance in Seattle, and I'm not talking the defense. The defense kept us in the game really until at the very end when they started getting gassed. But
you know what, though? To be honest with you, Rhino, Flores had this defense ready for the season.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
We just didn't have an offense.
AOC did not have this offense ready whatsoever this season.
And you just go back and start looking at this. Teams fail young quarterbacks long before young quarterbacks fail teams, and then you have this
team is
cluster. I legitimately felt bad for Brosmer last week.
Yeah.
I mean,
he started out all right. He started out all right until he started falling off a fucking cliff. So
and again,
it doesn't help though when your receivers are getting a high percentage of drop rates. I think we got the highest drop rate in the league since like 2017 or something.
Yeah, it's bad there, but just looking at the stuff, and it was another one of those things where Kevin O'Connell goes out there and throws his master course level playbook. It's at this time at a freaking undrafted rookie,
right?
And I don't know who it was.
The short yardage thing is becoming frustrating too.
Yeah,
it has been. Yeah,
I don't know who it was from the front office that leaked this or whatever it was. They heard this stuff before the game that that Bros, all this gushing and hype stuff about Brosmer.
They really built Brosmer up to be something that he's not ready for,
and that was not fair to him.
No, not at all.
And it made him look like fucking morons when he came out there and then played as poorly as he did.
And it's not on Brosmer as far as the hype goes. That's on whoever leaked it out of the organization or whatever it is that happened there.
Yeah, and there was something about Kwesi saying that Kwesi helped get him to the Senior Bowl or whatever it was, and he said, "Oh, I wish he wouldn't have, because then they could have been our little secret weapon and this and everything else." and then goes out there and has the worst game by any quarterback in the last 40 years, or something like that.
It's the perfect theme song for this year is the circus noise, you know.
Or this is more like it for the
emotional damage.
Right. And then this week, I think I seen it. I think Drew had posted this in the Gallahorn at one point. Something about KOC telling JJ McCarthy just to go out there and forget mechanics and just play like he's always played.
Well, he finally.
Why wait until this time of the season to tell the kid to do that?
Yeah. Oh, here. Hey, welcome to college. Here's a grad level freaking calculus book. Learn it, and you have a test on it next week, and you better ace the fucking thing.
I think a lot of it just goes back to McCarthy being so worried about everything that he's being taught and trying to implement it into his game and it not working out the greatest and just not being able to be the quarterback that we know he can be.
Well, and he even said as much here a few weeks back about having to completely relearn how to play quarterback because how he was taught was so completely different from what he's expected to do right now.
Right. The thing is going back all these years is Josh Dobbs' experiment was a perfect example.
Yeah.
Rhino. When Dobbs came in.
That should have been our first indication right there.
When Dobbs came in and he lit it up without any sort of KOC saying, I want you to do it like this or I want you to do it like that. But as the weeks went on, as Dobbs was under center, you started to see his play kind of fall off because KOC was trying to make Josh Dobbs something he was not.
Right.
And that's a stand in the pocket, field general. KOC always talks about wanting guys that are able to go off script, able to roll out and make plays on the edge. But
that's not what he wants.
Exactly. In all reality, the proof is in the pie. That's not what he wants.
No. Well, and, Drew has said this several times, over the course of the season here too, that it looks like McCarthy has been instructed to not run the ball.
They don't even call bootlegs for the kid. What the fuck? Sometimes when you're a rookie in the league, a bootleg is your best fucking friend.
Yeah, you let these young guys take off and run because it's always in their freaking pocket there that, if they're not seeing something open, tuck it and run. And yes,
I love it. I love it, Drew.
I hope McCarthy has been.
And I hope that's not KOC feeding us a bunch of garbage, saying that he's going to let JJ play like on the fly and then instruct him to play a different way.
This is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to do what he's talking about. They're going to let him go out and just start doing his thing. And he's going to click a little bit and he's going to have some good plays and stuff. And then KOC is not going to be able to help himself. He is going to revert back into that, sit there in the pocket and these long developing freaking deep down the field throws.
That out of you, Rubes.
I swear to God, there is no quick slant in O'Connell's playbook. No. I can't tell you the last time I saw a slant,
dude,
in this offense.
Zimmer didn't even run slants either. I mean, we have not had a quick passing game here for ages, for as long as I can remember.
No. Davey, I absolutely agree with that because that's what he's good at.
Right. He took the one against Chicago and ran it in for a touchdown.
Yeah. But I think that's the last freaking time that I think he was allowed to go off script.
Oh, good one, Doc. Exactly.
No, Doc, that's just fucking crazy talk. You can't do stuff like that, Doc. That is not a winning formula in the NFL. A winning formula in the NFL is taking that square peg and jackhammering it into a round hole. Make the players fit your system because your system
Flores does on defense. Like Flores has done the last 3 years on defense. He might not have the right personnel, but he plays to their strengths.
Exactly.
And the thing is about this, and the thing that drives me mad, really, is if you're critical of the team like we're being right now, you get those fucking shithead fans out there that say, Well, you're not a fan if you're critical of the team like you're being right now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. We've been this way since we started this show.
Yeah.
So I mean, either we're your cup of tea or we're not. So
yeah. And I'm never going to apologize for my opinion of the team and whatever all else because
me either.
But yeah, I don't know what to say about that game last week though. It's
Thanks, Ant. Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
I'm gonna pop that up there. Since day one, Ant, always been real here in this show.
Mm-hmm. That's what we've always prided ourselves on that, like it or not, and that's
Yeah. That's just it. He does. He needs to give up play calling.
yeah.
That's huge. That's a huge thing, especially coming from a play. The thing is that KOC never called plays before he even got here. He was just handed the fucking thing. And
but
then
he's got this inferiority complex or whatever it is that he has to be as good or better than McVay. But that's the thing here. Kevin O'Connell will not adjust his system, whatever. Look what McVay has done the last couple of years. They're
look
running
at Shanahan. Same thing. Yes.
McVay is running like a ton of 13 personnel. They put 3 fucking tight ends out there. They're running the ball. They're doing all this stuff.
And the thing with McVay's rosters is they're always overachieving.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the most talented roster. That's not the most talented roster in the league, but damn it, they can win some games convincingly.
I mean, it helps that Matt Stafford is playing at a MVP type level, but
that helps as well. But I mean, outside of Matt Stafford and a few other players on that team, that's not a world buster roster, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shanahan. Shanahan could be missing half of his fucking team, and he still finds ways to make pushes for the playoffs.
Yeah, they've been one of the more heavily injured teams this year, and they're still probably going to make the playoffs. And that's the thing, Drew. And I don't understand why Kevin O'Connell can't figure that out. It's got to be ego or something there that, you know, I brought this up for the last several weeks. He has got the ego of Brad Childress.
Yes.
You know, Brad Childress' old kick-ass offense. It's just Kevin O'Connell's got that better, oh golly gee personality, you know, and then he goes up in his press conferences and puts out nothing but freaking word salads.
I was just going to say word salad to this. It's all word salads.
Yeah. Davey, you don't have to understand it because he's not saying anything. He's talking in circles. He's throwing out platitudes. He's doing all this stuff to just avoid answering a question.
The illusion of complexity is the perfect answer to that question.
it's more with O'Connell this year. It's been the delusion of complexity.
Right. We said it weeks ago, Robert. I said it weeks ago. His head is about this big. I swear. We need a real head coach here, Rhino. We need a real head coach. I'm sick of these glorified coordinators.
But what a guy really needs is if you can't have a head coach that can get the ego out of the freaking way and do what's best for the team, you need somebody in here that's going to step back, be the CEO of the team,
right,
and have your coordinators. Get a coordinator in here, somebody who's creative, somebody who can adjust.
I like that, Ant. And I wouldn't be against Flores taking over I wouldn't be against it. That's just me.
I don't want Gruden.
I wouldn't mind Gruden being here, but
no. And
I mean, who else is out there though, Rhino? In all honesty, who else do you go look at then?
I don't think KOC gets fired this year.
Clinton Kubiak.
I mean,
as much shit as we gave Clint.
Yeah.
When he was here, he was also being governed by the fucking dictator of Zimmer.
Brad Childress, yeah. Or not Childress, Zimmer.
But I mean, ever since he's left here, he's had nothing but success. Cougs.
Yeah. I mean, I think Clint's biggest thing when he was here is, he was just starting and he wasn't
And a lot of it was
ready to be a coordinator yet.
Zimmer set in his ways when wanting to run pass all the time. And I think he was in Clint's ear saying, hey, this is kind of the way I want the offense to run.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like I said, right now, as far as the coaching thing goes, it's kind of a barren wasteland out there when it comes to who's going to be the next big thing in this league.
Well, and that's, I think, another part of the big reason why O'Connell's going to get another year is because there isn't a Ben Johnson or somebody out there that's
right.
Basically your main option would be if you fired Kevin O'Connell, you promote Brian Flores, and
he needs an ultimatum is what needs to happen. And yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be against that. I would not be against getting rid of O'Connell and giving Flores the job. But you know what? It could be like a Childers thing here where you go halfway through next year and you decide you're going to can KOC.
But I don't know that Flores is here next year if he's not
Right.
promoted to head coach.
Right.
Because I've been hearing some rumblings from several different places that Flores isn't exactly happy with what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when the offensive side isn't holding up their end of this fucking deal.
Yeah. Well, and somebody asked Flores this week about how they keep from getting the finger pointing and stuff starting from, when the defense is doing their stuff and the offense isn't holding up their end of the deal. He said
your defense can't be on the.
He said we don't have that because I will not allow it.
Oh, that doesn't even sound good. That sounds horrible.
Well, that's just like we got, some of these guys out there this week, Hawkinson and a few other ones, and they started asking them about simplifying the offense. You got this kind of half-ass answers, and it's
it's to the point where I don't even know if it's even about simplifying the offense, rather than letting McCarthy just be himself.
And that's what we've been begging for since the beginning. I hope you're right, Drew, and I'm not giving up on McCarthy yet. I have my doubts.
Not even close by any means.
No, I have my doubts as to whether or not Kevin O'Connell can make
I
it
honestly
work.
still truly believe in the kid.
I do too.
I really do. I didn't think it was going to be this bad going in, but
nobody pegged it to be this bad.
Guy. I like how KOC runs around like you said. He runs around and talks about how the organization fails the quarterback more often than the quarterback fails. And right now, the organization is failing JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, absolutely. But to the point about firing KOC, I think KOC gets there are going to be people that are going to get thrown under the bus, and it's already starting. You can see some of this stuff. You can see the front office guys are kind of starting to do this.
And given the circumstances, it doesn't surprise me.
No, people are starting to get into their save their job, cover their ass mode. Yeah,
but Drake May we were never getting Drake May. People want to say, well, they had their chance to get Drake May. We never had a chance to get Drake May. We were offering 3 first-rounders to move up to get Drake May, and New England stayed pat and said no. KOC even wanted to give up 4 first-rounders, but Quessy didn't let it go. And I don't know that I would have given up that much, to be honest with you. But in all reality, there was no possible way we were getting Drake May unless New England wasn't taking him.
If Drake May became here what he's been in New England this year, I'd have given up 4 first-rounders for it.
Yeah, but that's just it.
Especially when you look at the fact that Quessy can't fucking draft.
Yeah, I like that. Rob Brzezinski as a GM, that'd be great. But would Drake May be the same Drake May that he's in New England that he would be here?
I want to.
Or would KLC fuck that up too?
Yeah, I want to talk to this. Brzezinski is a money guy. He's not the football guy. I want Brzezinski in the position where he's at because he is the best cap guy in the league.
And he's been the best cap guy in the league for the better part of a decade. So,
but because I don't want a general manager who's not a football guy, because we've tried that with Quessy over the last 4 years and it's not working. Part of that is the fact that we have Ryan Grigson in there, and I think
exactly, Drew.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
with plenty of mistakes too. I mean, I remember hearing stories about Drake maybe not even be able to run drills when he first came into the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not giving up on McCarthy.
Whichever way it is on your screen, but yeah, get
Yeah.
Grigson the fuck out of here.
He should have never been. I was against that hire from the second I heard it was announced. Grigson he was another one. He got fired from Indianapolis because he couldn't draft.
Inept. He was inept.
The only real
I agree, Davey, a huge amount on this.
mm-hmm.
Most of the better GMs actually played in the league.
Yep. But with Grigson, I heard this earlier this week on Phil Mackey brought it up on Purple Daily. In Grigson's drafts, when he was running things in Indy, he doesn't get credit for Andrew Luck because they had the first overall pick, and anybody who had the first overall pick was going to take
Andrew Luck, right?
Out of that, the other, I think it was 3 years or whatever it was that he was the GM there. The only other players that ever amounted to really anything that came out of his draft classes was T.Y. Hilton, who was a third-round pick, and Ryan Kelly.
Right.
That's about it.
I'd be surprised if Ty Felton turns into anything here, to be honest with you. That was
you spent a third-round pick on Ty Felton. He better amount to something. You don't spend a third-round pick on a punt gunner.
You would hope so. But speaking of picks, Dallas Turner's really starting to turn it up.
What's it, 3 weeks in a row now he's had a sack?
He is really starting to come around, and I love it. I love it every minute of it.
Two strip sacks last week. He should have had four in a row, but he had that bullshit roughing the passer penalty on that sack against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Honestly, it's either that or KOC gives up play calling and just oversees the team. But I just don't see that working out. I feel like it needs to be flushed, and we need to start with somebody new coming in at head coach.
Well, what's going to happen? I mean, that somebody's going to take the fall for this, and it's from the front office side. It's at least Grigson, and I don't think Kwesi's safe.
I don't think Kwesi's safe either.
And then on the coaching side of things, I think we need a new special teams coordinator.
We might even need a new quarterbacks coach because Josh McCown looks like shit too.
What you look at it, Josh McCown was the quarterbacks coach in Carolina
when Bryce Young was drafted.
Bryce Young's rookie year when he was god awful.
Right.
And then he left there, and Bryce Young has turned shit around. Now he's here, and J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer are having a terrible time of this stuff.
Right.
But
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see that Dallas is starting to come around.
Yeah, he's. I mean, here again, he's one of the younger players in the league. He's only 22 years old.
And I think the light switch I think finally the light switch has turned on for Dallas Turner.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got more sacks than Grenard does now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's close to leading the team in sacks, to be honest with you.
It's between him and Redmond.
Yeah.
I think they both got like 4 or 5 sacks, but of course, Jonathan Grenard leads the league with like 37 almost sacks. But
I know, and that's so frustrating. So much this year.
And that's one thing with the defense. I mean, for the most part, the defense has been doing their job this year.
That's a good list there, Josh, for sure. Yep.
Except for the tackling. What is with this shit about just when you go up to they're either throwing their shoulder into him or they're just trying to strip the ball away. And
yeah, the tackling's been suspect. And I feel bad though with these corners. We don't have that physical corner that we need.
No,
like a Winfield, like an Antoine Winfield back in the day. Somebody that's willing to break down and make a fucking tackle.
Right. And I mean, high on Isaiah Rodgers to start the season out, but he can't tackle either.
No. He's a good cover guy. He's a pretty decent cover guy, but just can't fucking
I mean,
tackle the
but
greatest.
he's missing a lot of tackles.
He is. He is. And Murph, we knew it before the season coming in.
Yeah,
He's not a true
Murph
outside
playing
guy.
outside is not, and I was talking to somebody about this week. I still think we made a mistake re-signing Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
I think we should have signed Cam Bynum instead, and I think that's proven out to be
Right.
Bynum is one of the better safeties in the league over in Indy, and
you and I said it back when we re-signed Murph. If he can, his spot is in the slot.
yeah,
He is not an outside corner, starting worthy outside corner. You put him in the slot, and he's going to flourish down there. Yes.
yeah.
You ask him to play on the outside, and there's going to be a lot of completions going his way.
Yep. Well, and now you've got that problem. You've got the fact that we haven't, the safety position.
I agree with that.
We've had to have Metellus playing more of a traditional safety instead of a Swiss Army knife, and his play has struggled mightily this year because
Metellus has had a real down year. Yes, he has for sure. Wilson though is a fucking animal out there.
Drew, this is exactly what I was talking. It's not just the play on the field. I think it's the personality in the locker room too.
And another thing that we did was get rid of fucking Blackman too soon.
Yeah.
We got rid of Blackman way too soon. Got rid of Blackman
so we could keep Okuda, and Okuda's been on IR since about week 5, and he sucked before when he was out on the field.
Yes, well, I don't know why we got rid of Blackman. I
don't know whose decision that was. If that was a Flores decision, if it was a Kwesi decision.
This too, Ant. I agree. It's getting to the point in the season though where you're probably going to see more Dwight McLaughlin out there. I mean, just because root beer float or banana split, root beer float, easily root beer float.
I'm allergic to bananas, so it has to be a root beer float for me.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the longer KOC is around here, I almost don't want him around my quarterback.
Yeah, he got spoiled, I think, in LA when he had Stafford. And I've said this before, a couple of times before. KOC wanted a Stafford, and that's why he wanted Drake May. Because I think Drake May is the next generation of quarterback, very similar to Matt Stafford.
Or Josh Allen, but more accurate. Because he's got those wheels, too. People forget that Drake May is a fucking hell of an athlete.
Yeah, but he's not he's not a run-first guy or anything like that. He's he'll use the wheels if he needs to. Just like Stafford. Stafford stands in the pocket. I mean, Stafford was more mobile than people gave him credit for, too. But
much THC in that root beer float, as much as you could possibly put in there. Why did we get rid of Harrison Phillips? I don't know that that's so much of the problem.
No, I don't think it is either.
I don't think it would have been any different.
The problem is we got rid of Harrison Phillips. It's that we signed Hargrave and Allen.
Right.
No. Javon Hargrave he's shown out like 3 times this year. First game of the year, then that one game after we called him out and chewed his ass for about 20 minutes on this show. The next game he came out and actually played decent. And maybe one other time. I mean, he's actually got a fair amount of pressures this year, but yeah, Phillips hasn't been lights out with the Jets either, but and I understand the part about getting rid of Phillips because Jalen Redmond proved that he was ready to play. And
at this point, Drew, I understand that. I would love to win some games. But at the same time, if we do that, we're going to continue doing what we've always done. And that's end up at the middle of the pack come draft day. And pray that somebody falls to us or we are able to make a move and go get the guy that we want. I'm not
Honestly,
saying tank at all,
no.
but at the same time, I'm looking at it and saying, man, a top 5 pick would be nice. A top 10 pick would be nice. Where areas are you sitting at the fucking 15th, 16th pick, where it's where we're usually sitting at every year between 15 and 25. So
Yeah, I mean, my thought is Quasey's going to fuck up the pick no matter where we draft anyway, but
and you know what? I have high hopes for these three. All three of
yeah.
those guys. Yeah. Denver's loving it this year that McCarthy's not having the greatest year. Denver's just loving it.
Oh yeah, I don't think what's his name from Oregon. I don't think he's coming out this year though. I think he's going to stay around until next year.
That's a good way to put it there. I like that, Rye. That's a good way to put it. Yes. I want to see growth on this offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True, Drew. True.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Dante Moore, Jer, is the Oregon quarterback.
Another thing I want to touch on here, and I posted this on our Facebook page here the day of the game last week. We keep going like this on offense, to end the season. It's only a matter of time before Jefferson is going to be wanting to find a way out, and I can't blame him either.
Yeah.
Problem
is that we can't really trade him because of the cap implications. You'd eat, I think it's an extra 7 or 8 million in dead cap next year. So his cap hit would be like 40 million or something if you were to trade him.
But where there's a will, there's a way. If both teams can figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a win would be awesome. We need one badly, especially at home.
Against Washington, it should be possible.
But Jaden Daniels is back this week, so that's going to make things a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, getting a win aside, the need of a win for morale and everything else, probably the best thing that we could see is McCarthy come out, play well, get Justin Jefferson, 100-yard game, whatever it ends up being, but still end up losing it somehow or another. So we don't.
I think the key needs to be getting Jefferson to 1,000 yards before the end of the season. It's going to be huge.
That's easily doable. I think he needs to average like 40 yards for a game from here to the end in order to get to 1,000.
Out of all the receivers, I mean, Jefferson, yeah, he's been kind of hit or miss this year, but really, Jordan Addison, out of somebody I expected to have a monster year, he has been completely off this season.
Yeah, he's had the drops awful.
And I've thought of Jordan. This is Devontae Smith right here. I've always put Jordan Addison above Devontae Smith, and right now Devontae Smith is outplaying Jordan Addison.
I mean,
right.
Honestly, the two of us have outplayed Jordan Addison the last couple of weeks.
Right. Addison has been a ghost for the better part of the season.
Do we think Justin Jefferson would ask for a trade if we don't win any other games this season? I
don't think that would come about until next year. I think as long as he gets to the key is getting him to 1,000 yards. If you get him to 1,000 yards, that will help. That will help remedy it a little bit.
Yeah.
But if he ends the season without getting to 1,000 yards, we didn't win another game. I'd be hard pressed to believe that he won't ask for a trade, or at least the speculation will be there. Rhino, the speculation before he got his contract extension. Look at that madness.
Oh yeah, they were trying to run him out of town then, and now they're trying to run him out of town again now.
But at least there's more to substantiate for it now than there was back then, because you could tell he's not happy. The dude was sitting on a stool next to the bench last weekend.
Mr. Pink, new name in the chat here. Run this back.
No, and no.
Abso-fucking-lutely no to Kyler Murray.
No to Jimmy Garoppolo. No to Anthony Richardson. I would be okay looking at Mac Jones, but no, I still want McCarthy to be the captain. I want him to be the leader of this team that we know he can be.
I'm going to put it this way. We need to bring in a competent veteran to push McCarthy.
Yes.
And somebody who can step in if because McCarthy hasn't proven he could stay healthy yet.
Right.
And I'm no Mac Jones fan, but out of that list of players that you called out there, Mac Jones probably fit most.
Give me a haul for Jefferson.
But, I don't know that San Francisco is going to want to give up on Mac Jones because he's played well this year and Brock Purdy hasn't. And Purdy's been hurt.
Mr. Pink, though, a new guy in here. I haven't seen him. That's a new name.
Yeah, I want abso-fucking-lutely nothing to do with Kyler Murray.
No.
I would honestly rather go back into next year with just McCarthy and Bros.
Max Brosmer in the show, the Bro Show.
Yeah, I would rather go into next year with what we have right now than bring in Kyler Murray.
No, I don't want to lose Jefferson either there, Josh.
No, I don't either.
But that all comes back to I like Winston. I did not like Winston
I will take
out. But over the years, the way he's matured, especially, and what he brings to your locker room as a person and as a player, guys like to play for Winston. You know, they really do. And the way he's willing to do whatever it takes to get his team to win, I love it. Like I said, I wasn't I wasn't high on Winston coming out when he came out of college to come into the league. But throughout the years, there's just something about Winston I do like. He's a true backup guy that could potentially find his way to a starting role again at some point.
Jameis Winston is that competent backup that can push McCarthy that I just mentioned.
High-end backup. Yes, like you mentioned. Yes, somebody that could push McCarthy. Yes.
Honestly, Jameis Winston probably is my first choice for a backup quarterback for next year.
Yeah. And I agree, but who's to say that he doesn't believe in J.J. McCarthy still? You know, he knows what's going on in that locker room. He knows what he's teaching McCarthy, what KOC is saying to McCarthy. You know, I think a lot of McCarthy's flaws from this season go right back to KOC. So
crab legs.
That was one of the big reasons why I wasn't high on Jameis. He was very immature his last year in college and coming into the league, thinking that the game was just going to get handed to him and that it was all that. But he's been humbled. Yeah. Winston has been humbled, and he's climbed that mountain again. You know, he's gotten growth out of being humbled like that.
Yeah. Jameis is a fun version of Nick Mullins. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great comp. Yes.
And honestly, there again, that was one of the first stupid moves. As much as I hate to say it, the first stupid moves the Vikings did this offseason was letting Nick Mullins walk. I mean,
this too. There's been a few players, not just Wright.
That's another one. We got him for nothing, basically. We got
next to nothing, right?
And then let him go. And now he's got what, 5 or 6 interceptions with the Bears,
right?
And Nashawn Wright has had a hell of a year.
He's not the only guy that we've let walk out of here, too. Mekhi Blackman being another guy, like I said earlier in the show. Cam Bynum we let walk out. You know, there's been some talent that we've let just go, just straight up.
Yeah.
Mac Jones or Kyle Sloter. Well, considering Mac Jones is still in the league and starting right now for San Francisco, I'm going to have to go with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Sloter was kind of I don't know what he was, but
Kyle Sloter was one of the previous versions of Max Brosmer. Looked great in the preseason, so everybody, you know, it was the next great thing. And I mean, Sloter never really got the opportunity to start or anything. He played a little bit, but.
And the thing with these guys, and this is another Ant comment we're putting up here. The thing is, though, is it proves that a lot of these systems, the quarterbacks need to go into a certain system for it to really bloom and blossom for them.
Well, I'm going to kind of step back on Ant's comment there. Mac Jones is still under contract with San Francisco next year, so
Right.
he's not going to get paid unless somebody trades for him.
Right.
And that's another thing with if you trade for Mac Jones, he's going to want to probably get an extension in that trade, and you're looking at Sam Darnold type money.
That's another mistake that we should have done, with Darnold and with Jones when we got a hold of Jones. Why didn't we sign these guys to 2-year deals? Why just a 1-year shot for both those guys, Jones and for Darnold? They should have been 2-year deals, in my opinion, on both those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones was a late pickup.
Because that way you could have gotten trade value for them. After the year that Darnold had, if you had him signed to 2 years, you could have got a good amount in a trade for him.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Ruby, here's another one. And this is an indictment on Chris Cooper.
Yes.
Ed Ingram was god awful here. I mean, we ripped on him on a weekly basis. Everybody ripped on him on a weekly basis.
And now he's one of the top guards in the league.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Cooper, going back to last year, I was fed up with his ass.
I don't believe that Daniel Jones is going to hit free agency. I think
Indy resigns.
Indy will either franchise him, which franchising him for 50 probably isn't that, but they'll probably try to re-sign him, and he'll get that 35 million or whatever Sam Darnold-ish money.
I posted this on our Facebook page weeks ago. It's not the roster. This is a playoff roster, in my opinion. This roster is more than good enough to have made the playoffs this season. It comes down to
you look at these last
attitude.
Other than the complete bed shitting last week against Seattle and the bed shitting against San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles.
Then you let them complain, Jer. Then you let those people complain. Who cares?
Yeah, but we've been in every one of these games with an opportunity to win. But the offense couldn't get the job done. Well,
outside of Seattle and the Chargers game, yes.
Yeah, that's what I just said. But and for as badly as we played against the Bears, we had that game won, and then the Matt Daniels and his fucking special teams guys gave up that freaking.
This is recency bias, I believe. There's been some fucking shitty Vikings teams. I've seen the 3-13 team here a little over a decade ago, and that was a shitty team.
They were 4-12.
When Bobby Wade is your best fucking receiver on your team, Bobby Wade.
They were 4-12 that year.
Yeah, okay,
that was the last year of Les Frazier.
Yes, I mean,
I'm old enough to remember the 3-13 1984 with Les Steckel.
Right.
And I made some comments that game last week. That was almost as bad as the 1984 years.
Is that 4-12 team? Was that the Freeman debacle? The Josh Freeman against the Giants on Monday night? Yeah. Yep. That was an ugly year. Yes, Bradbury and Blackman all doing better. Yes. Yep, Mr. Pink, you're coming in here with some valid comments for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely,
very much. Yeah, and that's the thing. Bradbury was another one that's we've ripped on him because Bradbury wasn't any good under Zimmer, and he hadn't been any good under Kevin O'Connell. And then he goes over to New England, and he's
middle of the pack at least.
Yeah, he's more than serviceable this year.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Rye.
Yeah,
and that's been that way for forever, Drew.
Yeah,
one thing goes bad and it all
that's
implodes.
Kind of a hallmark of the Vikings organization. But
not very often we're able to get over that hump when it comes to ourselves being the ones that cause the problems. And yes, you're right, Rye. Those were bad teams. This team should be good. That makes it make a little bit more sense to me. Yes.
The Jerry Burns days with Wade Wilson. Yeah, I mean, you had that era when, at the end of Tommy Kramer's career, when him and Wade Wilson basically were splitting like the 1987 season. At least we made the NFC Championship game in 87, but.
Vrabel's a hell of a good coach.
Yeah, he is. And
Tennessee made a mistake.
Tennessee, they did. But, that's the other thing, thing. They fired the general manager and the
Bobby
GM
Wade
wanted.
was Ant's guy. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, and that's the thing you got to think about. If Kwesi gets the axe, that puts Kevin O'Connell on a very short leash, because typically when a new GM comes in, they want their guy. So unless things turn around next year. Exactly. And the thing of it is, we've heard Kevin O'Connell lose his shit on these guys before. That one loss a couple
Against
years
the
ago.
Eagles a couple years back.
Yeah, somebody was standing outside the locker room door, and you could hear every third word was a fucking bleep and a cuss and a fuck and a this and a that and
Yep.
whatever all else. But then he turns around, and the next minute he, like you said, yeah, he's Captain Kumbaya, and the team doesn't have a killer instinct, and
giving out 8 game balls.
Yeah, no shit.
And then, yeah, you got a point there, Josh, for sure. 2011 season, we got to see Jared Allen chase the sack record, so there was something there at least.
Yeah, we don't even have any of that this year.
No,
I mean,
I just don't see it, Rob. I just don't see KOC going down without a fight when it comes to play calling.
And who is
because that's legitimately KOC saying, okay, I'm not good enough to call plays. Give it to somebody else. I just don't see him with the ego that he has being able to do that.
My question is, who would make him do that? I don't think Kwesi's got the pull to make him do it. It would have to come from the Wilfs.
It would have to come from the owners.
And I mean, there are going to be some very serious questions asked of these guys.
And from what I'm hearing from pretty valid sources, I mean, PA is a pretty good source to hear things from because he talks to these guys. The owners are not happy right now with the way things are going.
No,
and how things are playing out.
The Wilfs are seeing their greatest fear as a ownership group right now is the team being god awful. They would rather be 500 every year than be like this once.
Another great Drew tidbit that we have heard this last week about the Wilfs being the owners and Red McCombs being the owners. What was that? 7 years, 4 playoff appearances for Red McCombs?
Yeah.
21 years for the Wilfs, 4 playoff appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I love that tidbit, Drew. I don't know, remember where you put it? Might have been the Gallahorn. I think that's probably where I seen it. But yes, McCombs owned the team for 7 years, made the playoffs 4 times. The Wilfs have owned the team for 21 years and also only made the playoffs 4 times.
And Red McCombs is so fucking cheap. If you fed him a lump of coal, he'd shit diamonds.
Right. But that's telling you enough right now.
Yeah.
That this team did more with less.
No. Fuck no. Hell no.
No.
Not a chance.
And I don't even think if you offered Spielman the job back, I don't think he'd take it.
Oh, I think he'd probably come back, but no, I don't want anything to fucking do with Rick Spielman. Okay, Drew put this up here. We got to hit this. When Norris finally shows up, thanks for coming in 45 minutes late there, buddy.
What the fuck, man?
Okay, what are we looking at for the remainder of the 2025 season? Enlighten Drew with our takes.
McCarthy. I want to see McCarthy start taking some steps in his development. I want to see this team play tough and hard, play spoiler, legitimately.
Mm-hmm. We still have 3 more. We still have 3 more division games.
Remain competitive.
2 more division games. Sorry, but
I know nobody wants to hear this, but mathematically, we aren't out of the playoff hunt. We're still in the playoff hunt, but we're looking at 5% or less. But yes, I know nobody wants to hear that. But yes, I want to see McCarthy take steps in the right way to develop. If Kevin O'Connell's really going to take the fucking reins off, I'm excited to see that. And then I want to see just what could we possibly have going forward after this season. So
yeah. Oh, that's the thing.
You see what you got in your younger guys too. A lot of these guys that aren't getting reps, like
Right.
Riley just
Now,
said, like
now
Nick
is the
Beauty's some
time to
reps.
see this. Now is the time to see what you got in Ty Felton. Now is the time to get some more of the stuff. Dwight McGlothern and Ingram Dawkins and some of these
Right.
younger guys. You know, your Bo Richters and your Gabe Murphys and those kind of guys that on the at edge rusher too. Get keep Dallas Turner going out there. You know, and the biggest thing is to get some growth out of McCarthy. And I honestly hope to God that Kevin O'Connell's not just feeding us a line of bullshit and he actually
That's what I
lets
said.
JJ
Yes.
McCarthy. Yeah, like you said, that we let JJ McCarthy go out and be JJ McCarthy, and I think you're going to see a world of difference. You're gonna go from god awful to at least serviceable level quarterback play.
How about some improvement in the fucking short yardage plays?
Yeah, this and that's the
He's
last
been
thing.
told. He's been told time and time again, Rhino. Why aren't you running on short and on third and short and fourth and short?
On
But
third,
he continues to pass like he's fucking the biggest genius on the field out there.
again, we've thrown the ball 14 times on third or fourth and 3 or less. We are 0 for 14. We have run the ball. When we do run the ball on third or fourth and 3 or less, we converted a 71% clip.
Got to get a Norris comment up there.
Yeah. And that's my biggest fear with what he's been saying, Norris, is I don't trust him.
I don't either.
I think he's going to, and I mentioned this earlier before you decided to grace us with your presence, that, they're going to let McCarthy go out and kind of do his thing, and he's going to show something, and they're going to score some points, and Kevin O'Connell is not going to be able to help himself. We could go out, McCarthy could throw 2 touchdowns, and 110 yards or 120 yards in the first half. We'll be up 17-3 or something like that, and come out the second half, and Kevin O'Connell is going to want to divert back to his standby, which is going to be sit back there and let those long plays develop, and then McCarthy's going to get sacked about 3 times, probably throw an interception.
I love it, Norris. Yeah.
So that's my biggest fear for tomorrow.
Well, we'll be able to tell, Rhino, by watching
Yeah.
the game, whether or not KOC sticks to his word, because we'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the thing about the whole sticking on your first read and not looking off of it is that I have a feeling there's some truth to that, because there's more often than not, there's receivers running wide open on every single play.
Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of infuriating part about it, is because O'Connell is scheming these guys open.
Exactly. Yes. Bingo.
But yeah, we can probably hit on that. We've been bitching about this other stuff for 45 minutes.
Before we hit on that,
all right.
Before we hit on that, I want to pop in this from Rye, because that's a good point too.
Yeah, that's a big deal for
the season. What does the body language of the team look like?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's going to be a big indicator for the team's future. All right, now we go into breaking down the game.
Yeah, let's move into that, since we
been kind of freelancing it all night tonight.
We kind of got sidetracked on the state of the team, but yeah, big thing tomorrow. Baden Daniels sounds like he's good to go. He will play. So that.
Hey Gary, we if you go back and watch the beginning of the show, we hit on just exactly that.
Yep. But you start looking at things. The Commanders this year have been just as disappointing, if not even more so, than the Vikings, because Commanders were in the NFC Championship game last year.
Right. Their fan base has to be right about where our fan base sits.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Dan Quinn had that defense going really well last year. Their defense is terrible.
Right.
They're little important or tasty tidbit here for Drew. The Commanders' defense is the worst in the league in EPA per dropback.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there should be some hay to be made in the passing game, as long as it's we're not over complexifying things and that kind of stuff. Go out there and play loose, and we should be able to put points up on these guys.
Yeah. That's what I want to see is just a game out of McCarthy that really boosts his morale and his confidence, because he might not show it, but I got to imagine what's going on inside the ears has got to be just insane for this kid. I would love to see a clean game, no turnovers whatsoever from McCarthy. Maybe 2 touchdowns with a rushing touchdown sprinkled in there. Something to give this kid his confidence back and say, man, I can do this. I can do this.
Because we saw that in that Green Bay game. His confidence in that game it was
exactly.
shot.
He might not say it, but I mean, watching the body language and just putting yourself in his shoes, he's got his bucket's overflowing right now. As far as that goes.
Yeah. Now, all this being said, the Commanders on offense, especially with Jaden Daniels back, there's some stuff you got to worry about there. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin, you got Deebo Samuel, Jaden Daniels. If they're going to let him run when he gets back out there, I mean, I would think that they would be a little tentative on that, with the fact that I think he's only played 4 games this year. Yeah, Norse, you're not wrong. But and I think Flores probably is going to be able to have some stuff set up, even for Jaden Daniels tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Flores doesn't lose to rookie quarterbacks. Flores does not lose to rookie quarterbacks.
Well,
he just doesn't.
Daniels isn't a rookie though.
That's true, but this is his first time seeing us. Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah, but if they're going to be careful with Daniels tomorrow and try to keep him in the pocket and not let him run and freelance,
he's going to get lit the fuck up.
It's kind of the same thing as it is, because that's where he makes his hay too, is getting outside, getting off script, and that kind of stuff.
I agree, Drew. I can't even believe he's back.
Yeah, exactly the point I was just making there, Drew, that I think they're going to be careful with him, and they're going to try to keep him in the pocket, and they're going to try.
I was surprised to hear that he's back. I thought he'd be done after that. That was gruesome.
Yeah,
that was gruesome.
Yeah, that thing. Arms aren't supposed to bend that way.
For you and Drew, I think about it every week, Ruby. Between you and Drew, and how much you loved watching this guy in college, to see how things are going right now has got to be extremely frustrating. That's not even the right word for it. I mean, man, yeah, I love me some Eric Wilson. I hope we re-sign him for 2 or 3 more years. He's still got a bit in the tank because he's been primarily a rotational guy, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the way it boils down to it, Eric Wilson's about the only free agent that's panned out this year.
Yeah.
You start looking at it, Isaiah Rodgers did early on, but has been pretty disappointing. Okuda, hot garbage. We talked about Allen and Hargrave earlier. You could have saved yourself a lot of money by not signing those guys.
His bursitis, fucking elbow out like this far.
Yeah.
Yep.
Offensive line. On the offensive line, Ryan Kelly, big dollars there that could have been saved elsewhere.
Fries will come around, I believe.
Will Fries is the only guy that's played the entire freaking season at his regular position, and
I believe when everybody's out there, and this is with Brandel at center, I think Fries' game picks up a little bit. But when you got an offensive line like ours has been this year in flux the entire season, it's hard to stay at that level of play because you're picking up other people's assignments and everything as that goes.
Well, it is, and then a lot of the stuff has been with Juergens at center, and or as I like to call him, Timu Garrett Bradbury.
I think we got our center of the future in Brandel. I don't think that's a need anymore.
Yeah, Drew, you're right. And looking at the rest of the schedule, there are 2 games on the schedule.
Giants and Commanders
that are look like we could maybe win those games. But the rest of them,
I'm on the fence with the rest of them. It could go either way at this point.
yeah, I mean, the Cowboys were on
I
fire.
thought we had the gumption to be able to beat the Cowboys, but right now the Cowboys are playing pretty good football.
Detroit made them look pretty bad though last or Thursday night, but
right.
You get down to we got Green Bay and we got Detroit. So I mean, we beat Detroit already this year. But
that Green Bay game really pisses me off. But it is what it is. So.
Defensive players were KOC's idea or Kwesi.
What about flows?
I think a lot of it was front office because they bought into this whole you get a rookie quarterback and then you can go out and spend money on all these other pieces to put around them.
Or is it on Hargrave and Allen? They just aren't playing up to what you expect out of those guys.
Yeah, there's that too. But I mean, you signed two guys to big dollar contracts and they're both on the wrong side of 30.
Right.
There's some buyer beware there. But this is you start looking at so much of this stuff and this has the stench of Ryan Grigson all over it, which makes me think more and more that he's going to be the guy that's going to take the fall for a lot of this year.
Well, that's a positive at least.
Yeah, if whatever you got to do to get that loser out of here is
right. What do you think? Just shoot off the keys really quick to this game?
Yeah, we'll hit that.
We're rolling on an hour here, so we're kind of behind.
Yep. All right. Give me the keys to tomorrow.
Don't let Jaden Daniels get comfortable. Don't let him get comfortable. He's got a great deep ball, so cover the deep shots. Bend but don't break tomorrow, in my opinion, as far as defense goes. Offensively, I want to see it, truthfully. The fucking leash and chains taken off of J.J. McCarthy. Just let him play fucking football like he knows how to play football. I want to see that. No penalties. How about a clean game with no turnovers? How about we be the team that causes the turnovers? We win the turnover battle for once this year. That would be great. But yeah, clean game, bend but don't break defense, more growth out of McCarthy. I want to see some development and growth because it's been far in between with this kid. Mm-hmm. So those are my keys. Also, run on short yardage situations. Quit with this whole fucking trick plays on short yardage or passing on short yardage. Don't get cute.
If I see that freaking tush push try with Hawkinson again, I'm going to lose my shit.
I'm sick of these cute plays that he feels he needs to sprinkle in there at crucial times of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, going back a couple of weeks ago, that tight end sneak, I believe was the turning point of that game. Because we were moving that ball up and down that field that whole game until we decided to go with a tush push on third and less than a yard and didn't get it. And from that point on, it was So
yeah, I mean, for me, it's
right.
Watch, again, when you let McCarthy out there and let him do his stuff, and I brought this up earlier, if it starts to work, don't go back to the same old shit. Let him play his game. Let him go out there. And if they do that, McCarthy goes out and freelances and they win by 10 points, like Drew says, you're going to see Kevin O'Connell on the sidelines with that fucking constipated look on his face like he had in that Cleveland game when he had to change things up for Wentz and we won the game. And in his post-game press conference, you could tell he hated the fact that he had to do it.
Right.
And that's the thing. It should not matter what you have to do and what you have to change. If you win the game, you should be happy about it. Yes, there are always things you can fix, things you can do, but if you had to change your game plan, that's what coaches do. They change the game plan depending upon what the opposition is doing, unless your name is Kevin O'Connell.
I do believe we got a bona fide return man on this team finally as well. And
As long as he doesn't stop doing the stupid shit on it.
a couple of the mistakes that Price has made was him trying to just do too much for this team.
Yeah,
it was him trying to do too much. Him trying to win the game back for the team when in reality he should have just went down. The whole punt thing when the ball bounced the wrong way. I said it last week. That was a fluky thing. Yes, he needs to get the fuck out of there, but that was a fluky thing, and that was a wash to me anyway. So
yeah, Riley, this is a very good point here. If you want to take those shots on the short yardage stuff, yeah, second down is the time to do it.
yes,
I'm not saying never throw the ball on third and fourth and short.
and quit running the ball every fucking first down.
Right.
He has a thing with that too. Running the ball on first down.
Yeah, that's when he runs the ball is on first down. Throw the ball on first down on occasion. But when you get down in them short yardage situations, for the love of God, just convert and keep moving. I don't care and it's actually a good thing.
Mix it up.
If we have some 10 to 12 play drives that result in points.
Yes.
It keeps your defense off the field and keeps them a little fresher.
And it shows that you have a good mixture of plays that drive then too.
But that's the thing. O'Connell is basically he'd be a great college coach because he goes that air raid stuff that chunk play. Again, what I was just going to, it doesn't matter if you get all of those yards in one play or if it takes you 6 plays to get those yards, as long as you get the yards.
One thing that we haven't mentioned yet, Rhino, and I agree with everything you just said there, but one thing that we haven't mentioned yet tonight that we probably should mention,
yeah,
and I'm going to tie this into something else.
Okay.
The release of Adam Thielen to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Let's get Miles Price some touches on offense. I would like to see Price get some touches on offense for the remainder of the season. That's another thing I would like to see. See what he's got at receiver.
I want to see Price get a few, and Ty Felton has got to be out there and get some stuff because you got to.
Like you said, a third rounder. He has not seen the field yet outside of kick returning.
I think he's played like 8 offensive plays all year.
Right. I want to see what you got in Price and Felton at receiver.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now that Thielen's gone, take one of those guys and you plug him into that spot.
Yeah, you rotate those 2 guys as your wide receiver 4. And if Jordan Addison keeps dropping the ball, then you
bump Naylor up 2, and then you have those 3 at the end of it.
Right.
Battle it out.
Yeah, exactly, Jared, what I was just talking about. Ty Felton's got to get some run.
It's either Felton or I'm more intrigued with what Price has to offer to this offense more so now than I am with Felton.
Felton being a third-round pick, we got to show something. And this is a guy that McCardo was supposedly pounding the table for.
Right.
And they don't trust him enough to put him out there in offensive situations.
And this is the spot where you have a year like this where you're able to do that with the remainder of the game.
And that's the thing with the rest of these games. You get some run with these young guys and see what you got in them. Winning games is good. The teams are always going to try to win a game. They're not going to go out there and actively tank. These players are not going to go out there and actively tank.
These are professionals, yes, right.
But you need to get some good things happening out there so you get that thunderstorm that's hanging over these guys' heads. Justin Jefferson leaving without talking to reporters last week after the game.
Like I said, things that you don't expect out of him are starting to come around.
Right, and he's come out and said, it gets old and it gets frustrating to be talking about the same stuff week after week and nothing's getting done to change it. And we've talked about that for how long on this show?
And that might be a direct jab at the head coach. Nonchalantly.
Well, yeah.
See you, Drew.
Yep. Have a good one, buddy.
We got about 5 more minutes in here yet for us.
Yeah. So
predictions.
Yeah, let's roll the predictions. Of course, Detroit already played Thursday night, beating the Dallas Cowboys. But we do have 2 other games in the NFC North of note. First one, 3:25 tomorrow. The Bears going to Green Bay to take on the Packers.
Wow. This should be a good game. This will be a good watch. I would love to see the Bears take the Packers out. I would love to see Caleb. I can't stand Jordan Love. I can't stand Jordan Love. I can't stand Green Bay in general.
Right.
Not that I'm a big Caleb Williams guy, but man, he's came a long way this season as far as quarterbacking goes, and Ben Johnson has him on the right track.
Well, Caleb Williams isn't doing a ton.
It's
He's just not doing a ton to hurt the team.
and it's a credit to Ben Johnson and the job he's doing coaching over there.
And they're running the ball with purpose over
Right.
there. And
Yes, they are. I would love, not that I would love, but I would like to see Chicago go and win that game against Green Bay. And I'm going to pick Chicago for my pick in that game. So Chicago over Green Bay for me.
Well, as it sits right now, I believe Chicago is the number 1 seed in the NFC right now.
They're hot, dude. They are on fire. They're right where they want to be as a team. That confidence is sky high. They're feeling it. They feel like they can play with anybody in this league right now. And for Chicago, it's a good thing for that team.
Yeah, well, and like I said, they're running the ball with purpose. DeAndre or Swift is resurging in there, and Kyle Monangai. This is a kid I really
hell of a
liked.
running back.
I really liked him coming out of the draft, and I was hoping that the Vikings would have taken him. And he's
Once
really.
again, there was a flop in our draft room. A historic year for running backs. We don't choose one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but and I don't. And as much as I hate the word, Green Bay they're frauds.
I'm going to tell you right now, Ryan, everybody else out there listening, no one in the NFC North is making the Super Bowl this year. 100% guarantee it. Now watch, now that I said that, somebody will make it. But I have no faith in any team. Everybody wants to talk about how gruesome and how great the NFC North is. There's not one real standout team this year in the NFC North that's really great and all that.
No, I mean,
I don't foresee any NFC North team making the Super Bowl this year.
If the playoffs started today, Detroit wouldn't be in.
Right.
Chicago and Green Bay would both be in. But do you have any faith that Green Bay is going to beat anybody in the playoffs?
No.
And I still don't have faith that Caleb Williams.
And the funny thing is that you say that Detroit wouldn't make it the playoffs. If there was any team I was going to choose out of the North if there was any team out of the NFC North I expected that could possibly win the Super Bowl this year, Detroit would be that team. Granted, right now they won't even make the playoffs, but they're just that type of team. They get that confidence back in them. They're a dangerous team.
Yeah, and I got to give some credit where credit is due. Dan Campbell took over the play calling a couple of weeks ago, and they've gotten better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point there. Feels like it's the Rams NFC to lose, yeah.
I think you're right too, Riley. But then the Rams went and lost to the Panthers last week, so so this would have been a year for the
as of right now with the way this team is playing, Jer. What about this team makes you think that we have the probability to make the Super Bowl? There's no way.
He was being facetious, I'm sure, but
I believe so.
But yeah, back to the picks. I'm taking Chicago here too because I don't trust Green Bay. I don't think they're that good of a team. And
Seattle ain't making the fucking Super Bowl. Sam Darnold. What the fuck did Sam Darnold even do last week, Ryan?
Sam Darnold had his statistical worst game of the year. Nobody's talking about it because of how bad the Vikings offense was.
Right. Sam Darnold will turn back into Sam Darnold when the lights turn on.
Sam Darnold looked like what he did more or less against the Rams and the
I love this Panthers team this year. These Panthers are exactly what you said, Riley. They are scrappy.
Yeah, they have an outside shot of winning that
division.
NFC South, basically by default.
Right.
But I think
Carolina defense is a pretty damn good defense.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay has fallen off the last couple of weeks. So they're not out of it. I think they're a year or two away from being competitors, but they've turned the corner. They got rid of Matt Rule, and they're on the other side of it. The injury numbers are going to go down quite a bit with Brian Branch off the field.
Right.
Not that I'm celebrating an injury, because I will never do
Right.
that. But am I going to shed a tear over Brian Branch being out? No.
Who do you got, Rhino? Green Bay or Chicago?
I'm taking Chicago.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have the Commanders coming to U.S. Bank Stadium noon tomorrow to take on the Vikings.
Both right now are playing bad football. The only thing that Washington's got going for it is Daniels making his return under center. I think, like Drew said too, I believe this is a game that we could win. And if KOC sticks to his word and lets JJ just go out there and play, I like our chances. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll finally see what we expected to see week 1 when it comes to quarterback play out of our rookie guy. And we'll see some of the strides that we want to see for the remainder of the season. And with that being said, I believe that we can win this game. I like that. Jared, I like that. I'm not going to put out any numbers, but I could see us winning by at least 10 tomorrow. And the thing is that your defense can't be out there for 10 series and your offense only out there for 6.
No.
You can't be having that happen. The offense has got to be able to sustain drives. Time of possession is one of those stats that goes under the radar a lot of the times.
But it's a key indicator of how the game's going to go.
Exactly. That, like I said, you can't, and that ties in with the tackling too. A big thing is when your defense is out there for 10, 11 series and your offense is only out there for 6, 7 series, that defense is going to get gassed.
Well, and when those series that you're out there on offense, you're running 4 or 5 plays and punting, then the defense is right back out there again.
Exactly.
But yeah, if we don't win tomorrow, JJ McCarthy might not get a win at home this year.
Right.
Because the other 2 home games that are left are
to finish out the season,
Detroit and Green Bay.
Right.
So
that would not surprise me in the least bit.
And that was going to be part of my hedging on my talk here. If they let JJ McCarthy go out and be JJ McCarthy and don't do what I said that Kevin O'Connell is probably going to do. Yeah, exactly, Norse. But I think we can win this game, and this might be the last time that I pick the Vikings to win this year if we don't win.
Depending on what we see tomorrow.
Yeah.
What we see tomorrow might be different than anything that we've seen this year outside of the Cincinnati game and
that's
the Detroit game.
And that's what I'm hoping. But my fear, and I've said this 3 or 4 times tonight, my fear is that Kevin O'Connell is not going to be able to help himself. And the minute things start going well, he's going to revert, and it's going to go down the fucking shitter, and we're going to end up losing the game because of it. If he doesn't, we win this game. That's as simple as...
And we see the best version of this team, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stat I brought up earlier, the Commanders' defense, 31st in the league and worst in the league in EPA per dropback.
So it's sitting right there for us to take advantage of.
You let McCarthy go out there, bootleg, run around, find the open guys. Let it be the McCarthy and Jefferson show, or the McCarthy and the wide receiver show. Yes,
yeah. And then you sprinkle on a little bit of Mason and Jones.
Yeah, play loose.
I want to see McCarthy put on a show.
Yeah, I just want to see him look competent.
Right, and
I think if he can look competent tomorrow, there again, we win this game. Yeah, Riley, you're not wrong.
Oh, I agree. Yep, we were alluded to that earlier in the show too. Yes.
Yep. So, but with that, we've gone on here for way longer than we've.
An hour and a half, and we just feel like, I mean, that's what happens when you kind of just freelance it, I guess.
Yep. So with that, want to thank you guys all for joining us. Still 20 of you in here watching at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. Appreciate you all, as always, for coming in here. A lot of great comments in there tonight, as always. You guys always bring it, and that's why we do these shows live.
Because a few new names as well. Nice seeing the new guys in here as well.
And like I said, tomorrow, I think, is going to tell us a lot. It's either going to be more of the same, and this team is going to be complete. They're going to completely lose.
Or it's going to be, where has this team been all year?
Yep. Or they're going to find something, and it's going to let a spark, and they're going to be, maybe something for the last few weeks, at least end the season on a high note. So,
And hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already too.
yes, absolutely. But yeah, with that, why don't you take us out of here, Brunswick?
I mean, I don't want to keep anybody around here much more than they have to right now. We're already running 20 minutes over our show time, so freelance. What? I don't know. Freelance. Okay, I got you. Nice, Ant. Anyways, yes, I want to see this. I want to see a JJ McCarthy show tomorrow. Just let him be himself. Let him go out there and make the plays that we all know that he is capable of making.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see growth. Like you said, I want to be able to be like, where has this team been at all year? That's what I want to see. And I'm hoping for a nice win tomorrow and some sort of something to look at and see progress and development with. So with that being said, we'll see you all next week. Millie and Aubrey, if you're watching this show at any point in time, Dad loves and misses you. Skol.
Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody.